declare with my word, and in honor of Reverend Michelle Wadleigh, I say this is a safe place to know God, so that everyone who comes in here feels the presence of the One and knows that what we are doing here is providing the tools to have our own experience of the divine, so that we don't have it intercessionary. We are in the presence of the One, and these tools which the Science of Mind teaching gives us allows us to fully experience that in our lives. So I know for each one here that they are easily able to have that feeling of connection to the One, and to know throughout their day that they are not alone, that they are truly connected to all that is, and all that is God. So I say, and so it is. I am opening, my heart is ready to receive. I am opening, my heart is ready to receive.
And so we are ready.
Yes.
Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Princeton. We are first and foremost a spiritual family that gathers on Sunday mornings to be together and to confirm to ourselves and to the world the divine presence that we study, that we live in our lives. We are a loving, healing, and inclusive community which teaches and practices the principles of the science of mind for the well-being and spiritual growth of ourselves and the world. And today we have the wonderful gift of having Reverend Michelle Wadleigh as our speaker. And she is speaking on the not-so-sexy but always necessary subjects, discipline and determination. And so I'm looking forward to that because I always find that Reverend Michelle's talks leave me really uplifted and guided for the week. Now, next week, Reverend Karen Kushner will be speaking. We always look forward to her talks. And the week after that is the first week of May. As we've been announcing, the first week of each month, we're going to have our services on Zoom. There will not be anyone physically at the Masonic Lodge. You can certainly come down to the Masonic Lodge. It's beautiful out back here, but we won't be here. You can join us on Zoom. All the information is on our website and also on Facebook at CSL Space Princeton, if you look us up. So that's the first Sunday of the month, and we will have a talk by Reverend Christina Tillotson, who was for many years the Dean of the online university for Centers for Spiritual Living at the Holmes Institute. And she's a personal friend of mine, and I'm really looking forward to her talk because she's had some pretty incredible experiences in her life. And I know she's planning to give us a wonderful talk. Every Wednesday at noon, our practitioner, Susan Neep, does a peace meditation. It's short, 10 or 15 minutes. Again, if you look on our Facebook site, the information is there, and you can come and join us. The more the merrier, right? That we confirm the presence of peace in ourselves and in the world. So I'm John Heron. I'm a practitioner here at this center, and we welcome you. Please come and join us.
Okay. Change your mind at the last minute, and you pay the price. Lean into love, let spirit flow. Infinite presence, all that we know. Mind creates soul, think it true. Love is here in all that we do. One with light, one with grace. God in action, time and space. No more fear, no more lack. Love moves forward, never back. Lean into love, let spirit flow guide. Truth within, no need hide. Power, peace, and joy divine. Infinite love, forever mine. Lean into love, let spirit flow. Infinite presence, it's all that we know. Mind creates, so think it true. Love is here in all that we do. Love is here in all that we do. Love is here in all that we do.
Good morning. Sunday
Morning.
I'm Damaris, Otero-Torres, and I'm a practitioner here at the center. I'm glad to welcome you today here, and for those that are watching us from anywhere of the world. So, this morning was very interesting. I heard a phrase that I said, I want to start my little contemplative moment, repeating it, because I thought it lined up beautifully with what we're going to be hearing in a few minutes. And it said the following: love is not a feeling, it is a decision. And I thought it was so cool, because it means that we gotta work at love. We've gotta work at opening ourselves to love, at being loving, at allowing ourselves to be loved. And I said, well, maybe Reverend Michelle would touch on that. I don't know, but it certainly sparked my decision to share this with you. It was my mentor and my teacher, John Randolph Price, that wrote this meditation that I thought would be fitting for today. And it says, I came into this world with a very specific purpose. I came to fulfill a mission. I came to love life and realize the truth about me. I came to contribute to the salvation of this world. I am a part of God, and the fullness of the Godhead dwells in me. In the mind of God, no one or no thing is useless or meaningless. Everyone and everything is of critical importance to the balance and order of the universe. Without me, God would not be complete. Without me, the universe would lose its equilibrium. And that is before me, and all that is before me to do. And I do it with happy enthusiasm, for nothing is too insignificant. And never again will there be a sense of futility in my life. I am overflowing with gratitude to the Father for the opportunity to be in physical form at this time. I am so thankful to be right where I am right now, serving all who come my way with love, joy, understanding, and forgiveness. Recognizing my true worth, I go forth with uplifted vision. I see with the inner eye the loving and prospering activity of the Christ within. I see my physical eyes, lavish abundance everywhere. I am peaceful, powerful, poised, for I know who I am. So in that consciousness, I invite you to just take a deep cleansing breath and know that the presence and the power that blessed me with inspiration has also given each one here the tools to push forward, to accept the good, to know that We can all be of service right here and right now when we open our minds to the fact that we are one with God. That there's nothing outside of that loving presence, of that loving intelligence to interrupt that which that loving intelligence planted in our consciousness, in our hearts. It is our blessing to accept that God is always available and that each one here has a direct channel to communicating with it. Every time we breathe, we accept the blessing of who we are and whose we are. And in that consciousness, nothing is impossible. So for the willingness to accept that the law inspires us and sustains us with discipline and determination to achieve everything we want. We are grateful and together say, and so it is. Amen.
So I plugged Reverend Michelle's topic, and I came up with a song, but it's not ready. I went to see a wonderful movie yesterday, and I didn't work on a song. So anybody wants to see a great movie, go see Hail Mary.
Oh my God,
It's such a wonderful movie.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so I think this kind of covers it, because it's about being brave. I love the song. Don't worry, mother, it'll be all right. And don't worry, sister, say your prayers and sleep tight. And it'll be fine, brother of mine, it'll be just fine. And lend your voices only to sounds of freedom. No longer lend your strength to that which you wish to be free from. The lives of love and bravery we shall lead a life uncommon. I've heard your anguish, I've heard your hearts cry out. We are tired, we are weary, but we aren't worn out. Set down your chains until only faith remains. Set down your chains. There are plenty of people who pray for peace. If praying were nothing would have come to be. Let your words enslave no one, and the heavens will hush themselves to hear your voices ring out clear with the sounds of freedom. Sounds of freedom. Come on, you unbelievers, move out of the way. There's a new army coming, and we are armed with faith to live. We must give to live and lend our voices only to sounds of freedom. That which we wish to be free from. Through lives of love and bravery we shall lead, and lend our voices only to sounds of freedom. No longer lend our strength to that which we wish to be free from. Through lives of love and bravery we shall lead. All right.
Yes.
And here to tell us about living a life of common is someone who lives her life life in an uncommonly wonderful way. Author, founder of a wonderful Center for Spiritual Living, and a lot of other things. Mother, grandmother, the whole, and my first teacher.
Thank you.
There
Thank
you
you,
go.
thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And I'm going to tell you that tomorrow night, I'm going to see the boss again, Rich.
All right.
So that's one of my little pleasures in life right now, is taking myself out of my home and investigating new things. So I'm looking forward to that concert. By the boss, I mean Bruce Springsteen. For those of you who haven't caught it. And by the way, it's Project Hail Mary. That's the movie he was trying to tell you. And everybody should see that movie, because it makes you laugh and it makes you cry, it makes you hopeful, it'll scare you, but it's a great movie. So I'm glad that at least Deja was excited about this topic, because it's not necessarily a big inspirational topic under normal conditions, because I recently got to hear a recording of Kennedy Schultz. Anybody, do you know Kennedy Schultz? Some of you? Not everybody, okay. Kennedy Schultz was a direct descendant, teaching-wise, from Raymond Charles Barker. And he was closely followed Ernest Holmes, and he was clear. He was clear. He didn't play around with teaching the science of mind. And while I still love a little fluff and a little, music and this and that, boy, in the end of the day, I want someone who teaches principle with absolute accuracy and clarity, and that was Kennedy Schultz. And I think that's part of what wound up inspiring this talk today, because it is we've been around long enough, and I say we because all of your faces are familiar. I know there's nobody new here. And we've understood the principles of co-creation for a long time. Most of us have some comfort in that conversation, or we've taken classes. We have some understanding that the power that is demonstrates itself through me. The thing about it is, it's the exercising the will and the determination of our thinking, which either allows it to easily demonstrate or where we might struggle with it. So I want to take a look at the underpinnings of the way that we practice co-creation. I have a lot of notes today because this was important to me. I want to make sure I came to you correctly. So assuming that we are all here in agreement about the power of our spoken word. Are we in agreement about the power and potency of our spoken word? Okay. So as long as we are in agreement with that, I know that for you, and because you and we're one, right? I know that there are times when I speak my word and there appears to be a delay. Anybody have a delay? Sometimes you're like excited about something, you're speaking your treatment, and you're like, what the heck? This stuff is supposed to work. So I think it's important that we take time to ask ourselves why. Why does that appear to be? And some absolutists would say, well, it always demonstrates. And I have to say, really? Maybe something demonstrates, but it might not always be the thing that your heart wanted. And so from our founder, he said, we must learn to control our thinking. We must learn to think what we want to think. We must learn to control our thinking. We must learn to think what we want to think. Okay, you've heard that 10,000 times. That's not new. It's not new. And I know for one, as a teacher, I am reclaiming my truest, to the best of my ability, my truest science and my roots. Because, we've started to go down the road of the way we demonstrate, and we talk about heart and mind resonance, and we talk about all these other things which are great and add up to it, but it starts with our thinking. Everything starts there. So we must take time, in my opinion, take time to analyze what it is when it's workable and what is it when our signal gets lost and spirit appears to not be hearing or acting upon it. So there are a possibility of answers. There's a variety of answers. Some say, and you might think, it's a lack of conviction on your part, on my part. According to some things I've read though about quantum, conviction has nothing to do with it because the law is so absolute. So then I have to say again, okay, then where is the disconnect? Where is that? And while I appreciate that perspective, I want to speak about my lived experience. Because in my experience, conviction, faith, determination is less about forcing something to happen, because I don't know about you, I have no way of forcing my leg to heal if it's broken. I, of my own design, have no ability to do that. And to the nth degree, until I get out of the way and allow that which knows the way to move through me, I'm not going to demonstrate that, but we'll come back to that. But it is about choosing to pay attention, and then to pay attention to what we're paying attention to, and then to pay attention to what we're paying attention to over and over and over again. It sounds really boring, right? It kind of sounds boring and dull, and then you see on social media these people that are celebrating and dancing, and there's music, and there's like, oh my God, there's good, juicy stuff, and it's like, I want that. Maybe. Really what I want is I want to feel the full potency of my own conviction. And so I get to celebrate, but I'm clear that I start with thinking about what I want to think about. Determination for me is not about pushing harder. It is about refusing to abandon the direction of my own becoming. Catch that? It's not about pushing. We don't push things into place, but we determine that we are worthy of and deserve to stand in a place of our own conviction so that we can accept and allow the law to move through us. The Buddha says, drop by drop, the water pot is filled. That's unrelenting determination. There are times in my life, and I know I'm not alone in here, where the only thing I had was my determination. And it's really funny because I think I've told you this before. Reverend Rich one time, many, many years ago, in some meeting or visioning or something happened, he said to me, boy, you really are a determined person. And I remember looking up at him. I had never heard of that. I had never heard myself referred to as that. And I didn't even know quite what it meant in the moment. I think at first I thought it was not a good thing. And maybe to some it's not. Maybe to the people that I impacted, it wasn't. That's altogether possible. I admit that. I admit that I had some big dreams. But then I embraced that idea. And I'm telling you, it's my determination and my drive that has just landed me here. I'm going through a life situation right now that is challenging. I am moving as gracefully as I possibly can, and I'm feeling pretty good about it. I'm moving gracefully, walking with my husband hand in hand while he is dealing, and you know this, I've mentioned this to you before, this is not new news, that he has we lovingly call it an expiration date, because he has cancer, and that's not to be funny, but it's just what is. So he and I, are determined to keep holding on to each other to walk this path. And that kind of determination is critical to me at this time for who I choose to be and how I choose to show up for others. I have this quiet voice inside of me that when I see something that I think would elevate my life, I will not turn back. I will not give up on myself. And that's a learned habit. That is a new learned habit. And new, maybe 15, 20 years new, so that might not sound new, but considering I just turned 69, it still feels relatively new. And then the discipline, I have finally accomplished the habit of discipline that makes determination sustainable. I know you know what I'm talking about, where something, you're in the middle of wanting to recreate something, have a new venture, do something, and you treat, and then something distracts you. A thought comes in, doubt comes in, fear comes in. Those are distractions from the discipline of our thinking. I know this is, that even as I'm saying these words, I'm not sure how to get it to land with the crispness that I want you to feel it. Because in the end, what I want to leave you with is feeling that you have at your fingertips what you need to demonstrate in the way that you want to demonstrate. If you're it's the same thing as learning a new skill. Rich did not sit down yesterday to learn the guitar. He's been refining that skill for probably 40 or 50 years. An Olympic swimmer that wins didn't get in the pool a few months back. You know, I watch my granddaughter, God bless her, she's taking some gymnastic classes here, but she's tall like me, she's a big, thick-bodied girl. I don't think she's ever going to do anything with these skills that she's learning. But I have a best friend who has a child who's actually accomplished, and you see the difference. It's what do you and I want to invest? What are we willing to invest in having that muscle, that thinking muscle, be so refined that it works for us even when we're not paying attention? I am happy to report to you that my thinking muscle now works for me on my behalf. And if something irresponsible begins to come out of my mouth, it doesn't get far before I go, oh no, ain't doing it. And I refuse, and I'd love to ask you to do this, I refuse to speak harshly or think harshly about myself ever again. Any of us, never allow your mind or your thoughts or your words to entertain anything other than you are brilliant, bold, perfect. Because anything else is a misuse of the determination and the discipline that we're speaking of. We speak a word of truth, and then all of a sudden, sometimes, and then all of a sudden we entertain doubt. We affirm abundance, and then we rehearse lack by looking in our checkbooks and thinking, oh no. And I want to say, I was not born into money. I was not born into education. I did not see it demonstrated anywhere. I had no visible role models in my close life, my family, or our network that looked like money or looked like education. I had none of it. So, and then I found out through when I took, I guess my science of mind classes, and then when we did the 4T classes. Anybody remember the 4T? Which was, which was kind of a good program for me. And I learned then, I started to get in touch with that. I have a lineage and an ancestry as being Irish, of being poor, which I didn't know that was part of that makeup. So I had to heal that lineage. And I had to heal belief systems. And I had to heal the habitual habits of not enoughness. They're just habits. And I am here to tell you, this is not a talk of prosperity, but I am here to tell you that I probably right now worth less than I ever did, and I have more money in my bank account than I should have for the little bit that I work. I'm not trying to brag. I'm trying to give you the understanding that efforting is not what we do to accomplish what we want. The effort is internal. The effort is by making up our mind and keeping it there. They used to say it was, I don't know if it was Holmes or Barker, change your mind and keep it changed. Who said that? Anybody remember who said that? One of our grandfathers. Change your mind and then keep it changed. Keep it changed. And then when you go off, because you will, we all do, don't beat yourself up. Then that would just be catastrophe. And you recognize, oh crap, I'm being fearful again. Oh, let me pull my attention back. Let me pull my attention back and let me love myself while I do this. Because sometimes you might hear a lesson like this and you might take it home in a rigid way. I don't want you to take it home in a rigid way. I want you to take it home as a gentle reminder. But you want to, I love this line, discipline, get this, discipline is devotion. Discipline is devotion. Nobody sitting here before me doesn't have what you need in order to do that. Now, I will work with my clients and I will tell them hang up reminders. Literally, Post-its. Hang up a reminder on my phone and, oh, did it go off at 10:30? Oh, I guess my phone might be ringing in there and I don't know it. Let me see, actually, let me see, because I have my phone scheduled so that every 2 hours of my day, yep, there it goes. It just was on silent. Every 2 hours of my day, my phone goes off, and you know what it says on the screen? It says God. So my grandson was holding the phone the other day when it came up. He says, Natalie, your phone says God. And it's my reminder to be present. It's my reminder that I am worthy of the good and the greater good that I have longed for, that I have spoken for. So I use from notes to books to technology to remind myself that I deserve good and greater good. So my prosperity consciousness has shifted so much that sometimes when I'm home at night during the week and I'm not working, I'm like, am I supposed to be doing something? But not necessarily, because I've set the ideas in motion that I'm worthy of good and great good and financial abundance. But I in my determination of that, it doesn't require that I have to force anything in place. Are you catching this? That's discipline. That's devotion. Devotion to an idea. You know, no one is posting on social media a moment declaring, oh, I remembered to think positive today. But the truth is, that's something to celebrate. That is something to celebrate. But here, this is the work. Not fancy, not lovely. It might be why some of our teaching is not having the explosion that, do you know that one of the, at least my last time I researched, one of the most growing churches, they call it a church of this time, are the atheists. It's one of the most growing group of people. Is that fascinating? And we're trying to scrape together what we need to keep their doors open. When I'm telling you, you have full-out license to live an extraordinary life. You have the license to live an extraordinary life. And somewhere, and I think it's because we think it's supposed to demonstrate in a certain way, so we get more easily distracted, rather than saying, I am fully worthy of good and greater good in all moments of my life in every way. And then we go about our day and we make the bed and trust. we make lunch, and we trust, and we call a friend, and we express love, and then that love cultivates more good all the time. Because it's the different moments of your day that matter. What you do, how you talk to yourself when you're driving in the car. Just now, I have so many books that I enjoy listening to. But this morning, nothing was doing it for me. So I just had silence. And that's not uncommon for me. But the silence now in my life says to me, oh wow, I'm trusting my own voice. I'm trusting my voice. I'm trusting my thoughts. I'm now safe in here. I wasn't always safe inside of here. I wasn't safe because I criticized myself. I wasn't safe because I kept measuring myself. I wasn't safe because I wanted someone's love or approval and I thought I couldn't get it. But even thinking that they could give it to me was a misdirection of my own intention. But when we set an intention in place and we become disciplined of our thinking habits, then what our job is to not dilute it. We have to not dilute it. Not allow it to be watered down with the distraction of the next shiny thing. What is the issue if the law isn't working? What if the issue is that we're not holding a consistent signal? We just might not be holding a consistent signal, communicating to the law that says, I'm available, I'm right here, I'm standing still. Because sometimes when we're a moving target and we have the next shiny thing and the next book and the next teaching, and I've met a lot of people in my life, I've met a lot of people that come, they used to come to the center, they say, yes, I'm a seeker. Seeking's okay, but I'd rather find, personally. Because some of those seekers keep seeking. And the truth is, signs of mind, unity, divine science, Judaism, Catholicism, any one of them would feed your soul if you move past the people part of it and you move into the mystical part of any of them. Any of them would serve you. So in my mind, choose and commit. Choose and commit over and over and over again. This is not about never having a doubtful thought or a fearful thought, because they sneak in. But the question is, how quickly can I recognize it and then return from it? It's the discipline. It's the discipline. What is it that you want to have happen that you have not been disciplined about? Is it a business idea? Is it a new diet you want to go on? Is it demonstrating more money, more ease? What is that thing? And can you now, by means of hearing this, see where maybe you veered off? You judged yourself. You questioned. You were questioning what was possible for you. But I'm telling you, every single one of us has within us everything required to make a decision, have the discipline of that decision, and to determine ourselves as worthy. It's right here. No one has to give you anything else. There's not enough classes in the world that can fill you more than what you already have within you. Within choosing to stay the course. To stay the course. It's surprising to me that my life is looking what it looks like right now. I have to be honest. I only have to set an alarm one morning a week. And that's because on Monday mornings, I have to, I don't have to, I get to go and care for my granddaughter and my grandson. So the rest of my days, I wake when I need to. I did set an alarm this morning, although I was ready. I woke up before the alarm. That's part of the ways that I measure success in my life. I've wanted to do that my whole adult life, is not use an alarm. I am venturing out on the skinny branches of transformation of life in how I support humans. And I gotta tell you, every once in a while, I get a little scared. And suddenly I wanna reach back, oh, maybe I'll get a pulpit. Maybe I'll go work for someone else. Maybe I'll, start an online ministry. And then I say to myself, oh no. I'm gonna grow where I've planted myself. And I've planted myself in this place of faith, and I see the work that I'm doing, and I'm gonna stay steady. I will not be distracted by even that momentary doubt. I will not entertain that doubt. But we do need to look at ourselves and ask ourselves honest questions. Where have I been inconsistent? So right now, as you're listening to me, just think to yourself, where did you set something in motion and then you got in the way of it? Be honest. Because then that path where you went off, that's what you take care of. You already know that the law provides. You already know the law acts upon your word. So what you have to figure out is why and how do I let myself get off target? I was years ago, this is many years ago, this was when I was actively trying to increase my prosperity consciousness. And I'll never forget it. I was at my neighbor's house across the street visiting, and I was running across the street, just walking home. I lived across the street, and I was having some doubts about finances. Something must have been up. We must have been having a conversation about it. But suddenly I could sense the doubt. And then as I'm walking across the street, I reached into my pocket and I found, I think it was coins. I went, oh no, it's always here. Now, I would have liked to reach in and find a $100 bill. But I found something that said, it's right here. It's right here in my hand. So what I learned in that moment is I just have to keep my attention on the thing I'm seeking to cultivate. When you're willing to ask the honest questions, be gentle. Be gentle. Because you could, and because I know so many people do, and I wouldn't want you to do this, so many people that wind up labeling themselves as wrong, or that you failed. Please don't do that. Please don't do it. Matter of fact, I was recently in Seal Beach, California, spoke to a lovely community out there, really lovely, vibrant community. It is California, after all. And I gave them a challenge, and I'm going to kind of give you this challenge too. So today is April 19th. I'm going to challenge each of you for 30 days minimum to not speak a word against yourself, to not entertain a thought against yourself at all, not even for a second. And if you forget and you let something in, start the 30 days over. Just like John Randall Price's book on prosperity. For 30 days, be your own best friend. Be your cheerleader. Look in that mirror in the morning and go, damn, you look good. I'm not joking. Stop fooling around with words or thoughts that don't make you realize you're brilliant.
I'll take the challenge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Anybody else willing to take that challenge for 30 days? Good for you. Won't be easy at times. There's something to sneak in. But can you imagine after 30 days of loving on yourself? Seriously. Seriously. You want to, when we refuse to entertain the less than, it's because we are refusing to indulge in it. Just kind of a simple idea. Not easy, but powerful. And over time, transformational. Because you have to consistently give your attention to that which you choose to become, that you seek to become. You're not here to live a half-lived life. You know, there are some older and younger here, but we're all on the other side of young. You know, we're just on the other side of where we, you know, I used to think middle age meant 70s or 80s, and I realized, oh no, it didn't mean that. It meant like 40s and 50s. It didn't true. Right? So that was kind of like a wake up, like, oh man, I passed middle life, didn't even get to enjoy whatever I thought that was supposed to be. But being on the other side of young does not make us any less worthy of finishing the life the way we want to finish it. By the way, the last time I was here, I don't think I'd done the plunge yet. Did I do it? Was I here since then? I did the plunge. It was magnificent. No one told me about the dopamine hit you get from doing that. So I was kind of like stoned afterwards. Like, I was also shocked. It was very cool. But so I enjoyed it so much, I committed to next year, I'm going to raise more money for this organization. And I've even committed to doing it on New Year's Eve night with, because I've been invited to a party, and they do that every year. I'm like, I'm with you. I said, but then you have to come with me to raise the money, and they agreed. So now I'm going to build a team. So that's pretty, like, coming from fear of it, thinking, what the hell am I doing? And then doing it was determination. Mm-hmm. And it was the discipline of not letting go that somewhere I'm going to benefit from this. Do you hear me? Yes. Please set yourself on a trajectory to experience something bold and brilliant. And none of that requires anything of you, not force, not struggle, but devotion. Devotion to the discipline, devotion to the determination. This discipline to tend to your consciousness, because we are cultivating consciousness now and always. We are cultivating consciousness. And I'm not going to even bother fussing with, you know, I do a lot of quantum reading, and there are quantum physicists who would say it's all bullshit, that your consciousness has nothing to do with determining your life. And then there are others who say you will. But I'm just going to stand in my knowing, because I'm going to stand in what I've lived. And what I know is that this consciousness that I've learned to cultivate, especially the one around prosperity and feeling worthy, has everything to do with me believing that I bring the waves and create them as, or take the waves and create them as particles. I'm clear that my focus, my determination, my discipline has absolutely acted for me on my behalf. When we do this, and some would argue, I don't think anybody here would argue, because everyone, all your teachers have been great in getting you into the agreement that life is about consciousness. For me, it's consciousness first and consciousness always. And then your outer world begins to shift. If your outer world is not shifting, if you look at it and you go, she said this would shift, but it's not, go back and ask yourself, where am I distracted? Very gently, lovingly, where am I distracted? Where have I given my power away? And then you have to begin to trust yourself, to do what you have to do to feel anchored, to begin to know, not hope, not wish, not try, but know, I am a creator of this life. Can you say that with me? I am a creator of this life. I create by right of consciousness. Say it, please. I create by right of consciousness. I love myself into being.
I love myself into being. Yes.
And from that place, demonstration is not something you chase. It is something you allow. So I'm going to leave you with this. Where in your life are you willing to become just a little bit more disciplined? Just a little bit more determined? Not as a burden, but as a sacred act of self-trust. Because what is waiting for you on the other side of that is not just the life you've been asking for, it is the version of you who knows how to live it. And that, my dear friend, is freedom. So I say to you today, be disciplined with your thinking so that you live your best life. Be determined in your becoming so that you live your best life. And stop abandoning yourself in the middle of your own creation. That's it. That's it. That's the work. If you're willing to work it. Massive love.
I was so high that I had to tell me what my turn. Thank you so much for that wonderful talk. I am ready to leave with the full potency of my conviction. What a strong way to celebrate that we know that we are abundant beings. Thank you so much for that wonderful talk. I'm listening to it, I'm like taking notes without stopping. So, it is because we live our truth that we get to have speakers and guests like Reverend Michelle. And I trust, and I stand in the full potency of my conviction that this ministry is changing lives.
Yes.
In order to do that, we need your support. And in order to stand in the full potency of our conviction, we need to affirm abundance and rehearse, not rehearse that. So, I'm going to ask you to just stand in your truth and let these words open up your hearts and your pockets. With open hearts, we pause in gratitude for the abundance already present among us. We recognize that giving is a sacred circulation of love, faith, and divine supply. As we prepare to share our gifts, we bless both the giver and the receiving work they support. We know that in this holy exchange, we are all enriched and the good continues to unfold. Just know that divine love will truly blesses and increases all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
We were born before the wind, also younger than the sun. Everybody knows one. We sailed into the mist. Hark now, hear the sailors cry. Smell the sea and feel the sky. Let your soul and spirit fly into the mystic. When that foghorn blows out the common home, when that foghorn blows, I wanna hear it, don't have to fear it, and I wanna rock your gypsy soul, just like way back in the days of old. And magnificent people flow into the mystic. I'll be coming home. When that foghorn whistle blows, I gotta hear it, don't have to fear it, and I wanna rock your gypsy soul, just like in the days of old. Together we will float into the mystic. Hear it now.
Yummy.
Reverend Michelle.
Oh, thank you. Yay. So, as I bless this collection, I know that what I see has nothing to do with reality. That the reality is abundance, the reality is prosperity. So I measure not by my sight, but by my faith. And I speak this word for the Center for Spiritual Living Princeton as a community, as a movement, as a teaching, as an influence of possibility, that there is right here the consciousness, the knowing, the understanding, the confidence, the conviction of abundance, abundance of people, abundance of money, abundance of inspiration, way beyond anything that might be right here before my eyes. You and I are more than what we see. You and I are the evidence of faith. Let us lean into that. Let us be in alignment with that. Let us allow that which is everywhere present to move in, through, and as each of us, as individuals and as a collective, calling forth the beauty of life itself. I am grateful for the consciousness of this community. I am grateful to be part of a tribe of people that live in possibility. So I bless this collection, I bless this community, and I bless this activity of mine with a full and open heart. And so it is.
So it is.
So it is.
Like a warm, warm, lovely stream, I keep running towards a dream, moving on, like this tired, shoveled earth. I got rolling since my birth. Moving on, moving on, moving on. There's a place in the sun where there's hope for everyone, where my poor restless heart got to run. There's a place in the sun, and before my life is done, I got to find me a place in the sun.